morning, boys and girls. How you doing? Bob here. Day 4 of Dr. Frankencobb's experiment. He hasn't come out of his lab lately. Every time I knock on his door, he says, "Go away." Smoking the same cob, 4th day. 5, 10, 15, 16, and this is my second pipe of the day. So 17 smokes in 4 days so far. Keep marking them down. Make sure I don't forget to mark this one down. Oops, I think it just went out. I'm going to have to relight it. Hold on. Smoking some sweet pear from Planta. Got this from Cup of Joe's. This is only my first bowl of it, so I'm not going to give any kind of a review on it right now. One of those people that think you ought to smoke something 3 times before you give a good review of it. I will say right off the bat though, I'm not really tasting that much pear. I'm just tasting a minimal, a little teeny bit of pear. But I just opened the package, and what happens a lot of times with tobaccos is when you first open the package, you get a little bit of a weak smoke maybe, and then after it's been open for a few days, you don't leave the package open, but after you break the seal, and some air gets into the package, after a few days, you find that it has a different taste, so sometimes markedly better. I'm hoping that's the case with this. Matter of fact, I'm going to transfer this into a larger Ziploc baggie to give it a better chance to be exposed to air. And we'll see what a few days does to it. This is partially... This isn't a... That's what happens when you try to talk and clench at the same time. Bacon and tobacco. He was wondering if anybody out there had a Bigfoot story, which okay, I guess people claim to see Bigfoot, so I guess somebody out there might have a story, but he wanted to know what stories any of us have had with werewolves or Bigfoot. I guess this was brought on because he was smoking werewolf beer. And if werewolf beer makes you think about that, I'm gonna have to buy some of it just to give it a try. I didn't dry it out first. This could use a little bit of drying. No, I don't have any wild animal stories about Bigfoot or werewolves, but I do have one wild animal story that's a little funny. Uh, I've been in both the Army and the National Guard. And one time, up at Camp Ripley, we were out in the woods. This time the unit was the company I was in was a tow missile unit. We were all 11 hotels, mechanized infantry. It had 901s, which is the modified armored personnel carrier with the tow missile launcher on top. So we were, camped, set up out in the woods, and so I was sleeping outside, no tent or nothing, just in my sleeping bag, near the ramp of the 901. And earlier in the day, I had seen some wolves, so I knew there was wolves in the area. And I got woken up. I heard noise that sounded distinctly like an animal moving, over the ground. Of course, it was like, I don't know what time of night it was, but we were under tree cover, so there was no moonlight that per se. Couldn't see worth a darn, and I know it was stupid, really stupid, but I started thinking about wolves, and I could hear the noise of the animal getting closer. Uh, Unfortunately, I had some beef jerky in my sleeping bag, and I figured it was probably being attracted to the smell. So I didn't want to draw the animal's attention uh, uh, by reacting too quickly. So I slowly started to reach for the beef jerky. I was going to chuck it outside the bag, when the animal jumped right up on top of my stomach, and I screamed and sat up as fast as I could, and caught and was like face to face with a raccoon that took off running like it got shot out of a cannon. So there's my one and only, one of my stories, one of the very few. I'm not a hunter, so I don't really get that close with animals on a regular basis. And uh, I did have another experience once as a truck driver, where I was in Canada. Unlike America, when you're going to park for the night, you got to be in a truck stop or some other large parking area like a Walmart or something. But you got to be off the road, or sometimes you see truck drivers on the side of an exit ramp, but you have to be off the highway. But in Canada, you see truck drivers parked for the night just right there on the side of the highway. And I mean, I've never really asked any of the cops at DOT stations at the weigh scales in Canada if that's all right, but I figure I've seen so many truck drivers doing it that it was all right. So I was coming, I don't remember what the name of the town, it was way up north, and was coming down south to, you know, making my way down to 16, I think. Don't really remember, it was too long ago. But I was going through a national park of some sort, you know, their version of a national park, because I remember seeing the signs, and it was marked on a map, and it was late enough that, you know, I had put in a full day at this point, and so I pulled over on the side of the road in the national park, and you know, it was summertime, so I didn't have to run the motor or nothing to keep, you know, warm, like run the heater, and I had the windows, you know, down to let in some fresh air. And I got woken up in the middle of the night, and the truck was doing this number, and I heard noise outside, and you know, I stuck my head through the, you know, from the bunk into the front to see what it was, and there was a bear on the side of the truck standing up and pushing against the truck, and in my front seat, well, the area between the two front seats, I had a box of donuts, and so I took, yeah, I reached over and blew the air horn, which kind of startled the bear, but he didn't really walk off. He just sort of, you know, like took a couple steps back from the truck, and then I took that box of donuts and I chucked it out the window as far as I could, and he went after it, and then I hopped in the front seat, started up, and started driving, and put some distance between me and the bear. I didn't have a camera at that point. I wish I did. It would have been a really great thing to film, but no, that was funny. So, you know, so there you go. Bacon and tobacco. That's my two animal stories. Close encounters with animals. No Bigfoot or werewolf, but, you know, hey, a raccoon and a bear. So, till next time, may all your roads be smooth, chicken house is closed, may your pipe never run empty. God bless.